I feel like God has always put the right person in place for the right time and season that I'm in my life. So I feel particularly for me, that's where a big blessing is. A big part of my life is the support and the network that I've had as well. I feel called to build relationships with people, especially with young people. So I've always had a good role model or good influences in my life. I feel like I'm called to be the same to the next generation.
I am that person who is minimal. I don't have a lot of skills, but through God, I do. Through God, I always just have enough, if that makes sense. We're in Christian ministry as a choice to serve. We feel it's what we're called to do and committed to do as a family. And I don't think you have to do or be anything amazing to do this. To participate in this, other than open yourself up and say, use me.
Just to be alive, that's a massive blessing from God. And just to be alive means that, God has spared our life and there's a purpose and a reason for us to be here. I'm so blessed to be born in this country, to be born with all the freedoms and rights that I have. And knowing that there are people that don't have those, I recognize that I have to use those to be able to bless other people and speak up for those who don't have those, haven't been blessed in the same way. The gifts that I have, the abilities, the talents, the spiritual giftings, the things that we've been given to us, they kind of help us to see where God has called us. God has gifted us in different areas, and they kind of are gifts that will help us to fulfill our calling. So the things that I'm passionate about, the things that I'm driven by, the things that I'm driven and drawn towards, that's kind of helps me to identify God's call on my life.
Well, the gift of Jesus, the gift of eternal life, and a relationship with God is the best gift that any of us really could have. I was really blessed by my set of grandparents that prayed every day for all their grandchildren, that they would come and know Jesus as their Lord. And actually all 6 of their grandchildren, who are now all in our 30s, are all still going on as Christians and having a relationship with God. And to actually still be doing that, I think, is testimony to my grandparents' prayers and their faith. Housing, food, health, and a lot of that stuff is easy to take for granted, but actually I try and remind myself occasionally that having an attitude of gratitude, as I like to think of it, is a great place to be. And actually just to remember the blessings that God has given upon me and upon my family as I go about my daily life.
So in my own life, if I look back, I can see how God's been faithful to me and my family, and feel that that's a real blessing, that He's held us in the palm of His hand, even in times of trouble when things aren't easy.
I feel blessed that I am a child of God, that He created me, He chose me, and He did all of this because He loves me. Firstly, to be a follower of Jesus, also a wife, a mother, a teacher, a community volunteer, a triathlete, and also now to a new vocation in ministry. I look back on my life and I can see where God has been present, nurturing me, forming me for the next thing which He has called me to do. I truly feel blessed to have a faith which listens and responds to God's call, even when I might be anxious or unsure about a new calling. But I'm comforted that as a child of God, that He is there to lead me and to love me.